here with Mrs. Lintack, a teacher at Ivy Hill Elementary School in Newark. She's a third grade teacher of an autism class containing 6 students ages 8 to 9. Good morning, Mrs. Lintack.
Hi, good morning, Ms. Williams.
How long have you been teaching?
In Newark Public Schools, this is my 10th year of teaching, but I have 2 years in Virginia and like about maybe 18 years in the Philippines.
All right, and what are your qualifications?
I have a license, I have a certification for the teacher of the handicap from PKTC.
Good. And how long have you been here at Ivy Hill Elementary teaching autistic children?
Autistic children, this is my 5th year.
5th year.
Yes.
Thank you. What are some of the main characteristics of autism you often see displayed by your students?
All right. I usually describe the 4 main symptoms or criteria of the autistic child. One is they have communication disorder. So it's like when you talk to them, they will not respond appropriately to the question that you are asking them. They don't have eye contact, and they don't really know how to play, and they have some repetitive mannerisms, like they just with their hands or they rock. But the number one is the communication disorder.
Okay. How about academically?
Oh, you know what? There are different levels. It's a spectrum. It's a wide range of levels, from a high functioning autistic child academically to a very low functioning one, meaning they're nonverbal. They have very low receptive and expressive skills.
All right. How do you teach an autistic child then?
All right. When you understand the main criteria or the main description of an autistic child, number one for me is the communication disorder. You should also start there. But if an autistic child has a behavior issue, you cannot teach anything until the child is settled, meaning could he sit for a long time, could he attend to you, could he follow your directions, could he express himself, is his receptive skills very good. So you have to start with the basic before you move on to the academic.
Okay. For example, someone recently told me that you even have to, as opposed to the regular ed classroom where the teachers just jump right into the lesson every day, the teachers, special needs teachers, especially the teachers like you who teach autistic kids, you have to also incorporate life skills into your lesson. Could you tell us what exactly those life skills are that you teach daily?
Okay. In my class, I included for my students to tell the time, to work on the calendar. In my reward system, I included for them to receive money for homework they've done, classwork, good behavior, for the center work, and they save that in their piggy bank because I want them to be conscious about the value of money and saving it. And what I did in the classroom is I created a bank. One is a bank and one is a store. So whatever they earn from the work they've done in school, they can either, there's a weekend, there's a Friday that they can go to the bank and save their money and I give them interest, or they go to the store, they buy what they want.
Okay, excellent. That's an excellent idea. How about like bathroom duties? Combing their hair, putting on their book bag. I notice sometimes
Yes.
you have to help them to put their coats on and their book bag. They
Right.
have trouble with simple tasks
Uh-huh.
like that.
Those tasks are started pretty early on from pre-K. The training starts there, and then we just follow through as they grow older. Most of the kids in my class can put on their coats, carry on their book bags. The problem I see basically is tying the shoelace. That's the hardest task.
Yeah.
The ones receiving services for occupational therapy are helping them with that. Um, if if there's only more time within the day and we are allowed to teach more life skills,
Yes.
a period for that could be set up in the afternoon where um, I wanted to in the past like teach them to set the table, experience how to clean up or eat together and train them how to eat properly. And I also wanted like after playground time they would have their toothbrush and brush their teeth and wash their face and tidy up themselves. But we're having issues with water
Yeah.
in the work, so we had to take that out.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. Maybe
Right.
sometime in the future. we
In
can
the
work on
future,
that.
that's a very good life skill training for the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
How do you teach your autistic children? What are your best practices?
Okay. Um, since I know my students very well, their level of function, um, their learning styles. Some kids learn through visual, through tactile, so I incorporate that with my lesson. Overall big picture, I want my students to be able to read and comprehend for literacy and to write. For math, I want them to learn the math skills for third grade. We're aiming for multiplication, so they're now working on addition and subtraction. So how do you teach them with those? Let's go back to literacy. The program for the autistic class is aligned with the Common Core. So let's say for reading and comprehension, I do a mini lesson for them. I don't know if you're going to see this one here. It breaks down the story, and I use pictures for them to recall character settings. This is just our organizational chart of how I would teach my students to remember character setting and events. So when we do that in 2 weeks' time, and in 2 weeks' time, I'm hoping they could complete my storyboard window.
Yeah.
For each story, they learn the vocabulary words, the characters, the setting, respond to an open-ended question, and sometimes to connect it to social studies and science.
Okay,
So, for them to understand all the concepts, I have like visual aids. I use the smart board. I use video clips. I use manipulatives for math. I'll give you an example for math, just for addition, for them to learn a concept of addition. Yeah, I teach them different math tools so that they can independently choose what they're comfortable at to add or subtract. Like I teach them to add using the floor number line, to draw, to use counters, to use the base 10 blocks, to use touch math, to act it out, use the smart board. So you have to be creative.
Yeah, creativity is
Yes,
the key.
because our students learn different ways, visually, auditorily, even kinesthetic, or sometimes by music.
Yes, yes. If do you frequently collaborate with the other teachers regarding methods, discipline issues, etc.?
Yes, we should. You know what? You can never say you know every child and you know how to handle every child, because you'll be surprised that you know one behavior and you can handle, but when you go to the next one, it's different. So we often discuss with other teachers, like I would say, oh, I did this to my student, but it didn't work. Do you have any other suggestions?
And how often do you do that? You guys formally meet, or it's just an informal thing where you just run across to Miss Kelowna and you say, I'm having a problem with.
You know what? Both. We do it daily when there's a need, and then you want some answers right away. You can go anytime. But we also do some case studies during our regular monthly meetings with
Okay.
our physical program.
Good, good. How can your parents support your efforts in the classroom?
Oh, you know, especially for students who have behavior problems, I often say, and I look back to this one student I had like 2 years ago. He had behavior problems, and everybody on the team was on board. The child study team, the teacher aides, the parents. If there's consistency from home to school, school to home, with your approach to the student, your reward system, your discipline, in all aspects, your rewards, it can work. And also from the medical point of view, what the doctor suggests, if the kid has to be medicated or not, it can be successful. But that's why I always say the parent, the home is a big link.
Key ingredient.
Yes, very, very much, right.
Specifically regarding homework, you give homework. What do you expect? How can the parents help their kid to complete the assignment?
Okay. Oftentimes, I call the parents, okay? The parents had shared with me, like Ms. Lintag, especially some who are not English-speaking parents, they would express themselves like, I really don't understand how to teach my child.
So there's a language barrier
Yes.
too.
So, in cases like those, the homework of the child, like Brian, we help him out here, but I inform the parents that he will do it here with me or the teacher aide.
Okay.
In cases for those of parents who are very much involved, I can write a note on the homework on how to do it.
Yeah.
Because the way they teach their child might be different than the way I've taught them here. So it would look like when they come home, the child doesn't know anything because the mom is teaching the
They're
child
different. Yeah, I have that same problem.
Right,
actually.
right. So communication again is a good key between parents and teachers and teaching their child. This has to be consistency all the
Yeah.
time.
Yes. As I end this interview, if there is one quality you believe an educator should have when teaching a child with special needs, specifically autism, what would that be, or what would those qualities be?
I think there's not just one.
Yeah.
One is you have to be patient, and the other, you have to have the passion. You have to love these kids with special needs, because there's not just one way to teach them. You have to be creative. You have to differentiate instructions. You can apply ABA, applied behavior analysis, using different methods like discrete trials. You have to be dedicated in gathering that data. You have to track their progress. There's many small details that you have to do, so you have to be hardworking too.
Yeah.
And you know what?
So hardworking, passionate,
Passion,
and patient.
patience.
Yeah.
And you should love the kids.
You have to love
Yeah.
the kids.
You should find your why question. Why are you teaching the autism? Why do you want to teach them? You should be able to answer that. Why, um, if you are able, deep in your heart, to say, I am teaching and this, I am teaching and or I want to teach this autistic class because, maybe it's because my reason is one of the students, or your reason may be you feel it's a mission for you to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has to be deep-rooted in you to be able to make it.
So, okay then, why did you choose special education as opposed to regular ed?
All right. I thought about it a long time ago, and I said, for me, teaching is not just, helping them learn academically, but I think deep-rooted in me, I found it a mission to teach these kids, whether general or special ed, especially the challenging behaviors, and in general what's happening in the world, it's very challenging.
Yeah.
So it helps me go on every day to face the challenges because I have realized it's a calling, it's a mission for me to teach.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the time it has to be, if you want to be an effective teacher, it has to be a calling, as you
Right.
said. But knowing how challenging this job is, the job of a teacher is challenging overall, but more so the job of a special needs teacher. How do you unwind? How do you relax? What form of support does the school give you, or what methods do you have for yourself?
Oh, well, to relax, I don't know how it will sound to you, but spiritually it does help. So that's a big factor.
So you pray sometimes?
Yes, I pray.
You
and
have
then
to?
You have to.
Yeah, I believe in God.
All
so
right.
don't worry about it.
Okay, that's number one. And besides, that's why I call it's a mission.
Yes.
It's a spiritual calling. So that one. And then I have friends, I have my family. And the school support here. Your co-teachers, the administrators are there to support you too. So, and then the parents, when they give you feedback, and you know what? The feedback you get from the students,
Yes.
the progress, when you see it makes you happy.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and then makes you want to go on.
I
Move
know.
on.
But what do you do? Like in the case of, there's a specific student that right now he's more than a puzzle, right? How do you, on the days that you feel stressed out, what do you do? What are your mechanics for you to calm down and just become centered?
All right. You know what? If everything's in place in the room, first of all, you have to teach them to self-direct themselves when a meltdown happens. If that doesn't happen, I need to step back a bit, and also try to have a quiet moment, only for a few minutes, because you can't really
take it for the entire day.
Yes, we cannot have that break.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then during the break time, during lunch, you talk to your colleague, and then you tell them what happened. So it's a way of venting out too. So you get relief.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, I have have to say thank you very much for taking the time out to speak with me. As usual, you have been very accommodating, and I wish you all the best. I am really impressed by how you conduct your teaching in the classroom. I noticed the camaraderie with you and your peers. The students are happy. I can see that. Your classroom is so inviting. I would want to come into this room every day.
Thank you,
And
Miss Williams.
I do wish you all the best, and I look forward to coming here every Monday and Wednesday and whatever other days I can get to come.
You're most welcome to come here anytime, and your effort to help out the students and experience working with them is a big help too. And I wish you all the best. And I hope someday you will be in my place to come here and teach your own class.
I hope so too. It's actually, the teaching is really my passion. Just helping people in general. But I feel there's this, I don't know, there's a special feeling. I can't even put it in words when I am teaching somebody, whether it be a child or an adult. I don't even have to get paid to do it. I am paid when I see that person excelling.
So that's it. You have it. You got it.
So thanks
All right.
again.
You're welcome, Miss Julia.